So, Mark, it's 21 years since the first performance of Epiclesis, and in that time, you know, there's been no harder piece in the trumpet repertory written. So recently, you took this on at 8 weeks' notice. How do you approach a piece like Jimmy Macmillan's Epiclesis?
It's a very big piece, as you say. It's about 25 minutes slogging through some hard trumpet writing, and you've got to think of pacing yourself through this piece, and got to think of the overall stamina. Do I have enough stamina to get through 25 minutes of all sorts of virtuosic high register playing, loud playing, quiet playing, low register, various tonguing techniques, and so on and so on. So you kind of have to balance all the plates initially when you're looking through the score. Can I do this? Can I do that? And if you can't do it, I think it's time to start learning how to do it. And I think initially, from the stamina point of view, just doing a lot of long tones, maybe 20 minutes just playing a long G or a long C or whatever, just very softly and just psychologically to have that 20-minute without taking it off your face idea.
So again, it's a common sense approach to practice. But meantime, this 8 weeks you spent learning this, you've been in hot seat, principal trumpet chair for over 20 years. So you were doing that at the same time. How did you fit the solo practice into the hot seat?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think initially I tried to separate both very much. You go and do your job and don't treat it as anything special other than you do your job as you've done for 20-something years. And then the Epiclesis work, the Macmillan concerto, I think treated as something special and something slightly different, and you kind of allocate as much time as you can for practicing that to make it a little bit more special, and then come back full circle in hindsight, looking back on it. I think one actually helps the other. The job playing trumpet in an orchestra, you try and marry the two back together again, I think, and looking back it was more of a okay, I have 10 minutes free, I'll do a little bit of Epiclesis. Okay, we've got an hour lunch break, I'll do a little bit more Epiclesis. And I think little and often when you practice is the best approach. So one intertwines with the other, if you like.
The way that we came into playing, I think, was quite similar. I started in brass bands, believe it or not, about 60 years ago. that dates me. Right. And I think you had a similar background in Cork.
Yeah, well, actually, my dad taught me. He actually founded a local band in County Cork, this place called Youghal, which is famous for carpets and sea fishing, etc. And it's one of the oldest towns in Ireland. And my dad co-founded this local, it was brass and reed instruments as well, clarinets and saxes as well. So he kind of got me going. He was a trumpet player and he had a little dance band going and he travelled all around Ireland. And so he got me my first start in show business, if you like. I learned the piano with a fabulous piano teacher there, Margaret O'Leary. And then once, I've kind of got the fundamentals of music making, my dad taught me the trumpet and brought me along to his dances, and I played a few tunes, and gradually it's a great life learning experience, just getting out and playing in front of people and kind of learning the showbiz end of of performing.
Now, speaking about the showbiz, I was very privileged to go along to the Caird Hall in Dundee on Friday to hear you playing this piece. So after 8 weeks, you had a triumphant show at the beautiful Caird Hall in Dundee with the National Youth Orchestra of Scotland. Tell us a little bit what it felt like being in front of the orchestra playing this piece. When I did the first performance at the Usher Hall, I felt as though I was playing for Scotland. How did it feel like 21 years later?
Well, I got just such a buzz from playing with such an amazing group of young professionals. The buzz and the energy from something like, was it 100 members of the orchestra? That wave of sound that you get. It's all very well practicing in your room by yourself in a little box and thinking, how am I going to approach this piece? But when you hear this wall of beautiful sounds coming from the orchestra, and Jimmy's a fantastic example of colour in his music, fabulous composer, and he uses the orchestra in such a special way. There's rows and rows of percussion instruments, beautiful woodwind solos and colours going on. He uses the orchestra in a very special way.
And we were very lucky to go with him with the BBC Scottish and the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland joint orchestra to India on tour, to Chennai, Delhi and Mumbai. So we were able to pick his brains about this wonderful piece whilst we were there. I mean, where do you place Jimmy in the panoply of great composers?
Right now he's the best. Best there is, in my opinion. What can I say? He's a local composer in Glasgow, and he's right on the doorstep. He's right there. And
St Columba's Church. He was all over Easter with the music there. He's composing the whole liturgy at the moment. So we feel very lucky to have Jimmy Macmillan in Glasgow.
Absolutely.
Great. Thanks very much, Mark.
Thank you.